Hello Spartans, welcome back. One of the main things I disliked about the Ancient Gods Part 1 is how it didn't give new weapons to the Doomslayer, or to us, the players. On the first expansion for Doom Eternal, we were stuck using the same weapons we used back in the base campaign, and we actually had less weapons we had back then. The Crucible was removed entirely from the expansion, as its software stated that they want the future expansions to have continuity within the lore. And being how the Doomslayer left his crucible in the forehead of the Icon of Sin, well, it's pretty much obvious why he didn't have the crucible in DLC number 1 on the first place, and why we weren't able to use it then. Now, do not get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the current roster of weapons. They are what make Doom Eternal such a fierce, almost perfect first-person shooter. They all add something to the game. They all have their own specific roles, and the combos you can make with all 7 weapons are borderline crazy and epic. Wait, scratch that. Combos with all 10 weapons. But for DLC number 2, it seems to be the other way around, as it has been stated by Martin not too long ago that they are working on adding a new weapon for DLC number 2, one that will add yet another element to the gameplay loop and the Doom dance. If you enjoy Doom, click subscribe, click the bell to get all future videos, and leave a huge like right now. Subscribe, click the bell, and leave a like. Thanks for the support and enjoy the video, my friends. Now, before we begin, I want to express my concern for Ancient Gods Part 2. In the Ancient Gods Part 1, we didn't get any new weapons, but we did get 2 new demons, the Blood Angels and the Summoner. But for Ancient Gods Part 2, it seems to be the other way around. Its software is using resources on creating a new weapon, but what about new demons? Of course, I want the whole package, but I really want more demons on the Ancient Gods Part 2. Of course, that might be just me being super chiflado, entitled and whatever, but I honestly want the whole package. New weapons and new demons as well. But if you had to choose between new weapons or new demons, what do you prefer? Weapons or demons? Please leave your comment down below.
Yeah, I think DLC 2 is coming out really good too. You know, we will have a new weapon in there for players, and we've just been playtesting that quite a bit.
Okay.
A little bit of an insider announcement there.
Love it.
And we're excited for it. It does add a new element to the DLC, and allows you to get access to some juicy power. And I think the hardest thing for us was to figure out a way to integrate it into the Doom Dance. Listen, this is the second DLC to an extremely tightly balanced single-player campaign. There was not a lot of room left in the tool set, so to speak. You know, we're asking you to press a lot of keys. Let's be honest. You know, Doom is a skill-based shooter. It's a skill-based FPS, not an open-world experience, not an RPG. It's a skill-based action FPS. And so we have something to teach you, and based on the videos that I see, you guys have learned it. You've mastered it. You know it better than we do. And we learn from you guys now, you know. I'm not sure Mayo's not directing the game at this point, but I'm just kidding. But you know, it's what we hoped for. You know, we talk about black belts and the Doom dance, and we have them now, and you are those people. So we were able to figure out a way to, we had planned it for a long while, looking at the kill equation of Doom and what it is we're asking you to do, and where we think there's room to slip something in and it feel natural and not forced. That was the key. We had a couple of iterations of some different ideas that ultimately just felt like, I don't need to do that. You know, you've got your quick switch combos, you've got your ice bomb, you've got your blood punch, your flame belch. And blood punch is being fixed. That is being investigated as we speak by the top people at id Software, and we just had a meeting about it today. And so we found a spot, I don't want to give it away, that we think there's room for even more power, and it does make you feel powerful. And as a result, I think DLC 2 has a little bit of a different feel to it. You know, DLC 1 didn't introduce any new weapons. So to say that, then the engagement comes from the challenge. I mean, that's basically what the master levels are. They're like, hey, you've mastered the tools here and you've beaten the campaign. which is kind of balanced for everyone. And we know that the people who tune into a DLC are the hardcore fans. So let's give you a real challenge. Well, with DLC 2 and giving you access to new power, I think the experience is a little bit different this time. I don't know that it's necessarily as much about it's a challenging experience, don't get me wrong, but it is as much about you mastering, learning, and then just bathing in the experience and how good it feels to use this new attack. And I can't wait for you to see it.
So, we finally get another update on the development of DLC number 2, the Ancient Gods Part 2. Now, it hasn't been revealed when this DLC is going to release, but my safest bet will be that it will come out sometime around March or April. Anyways, right now, Martin has been doing a weekly / bi-weekly stream playing Doom Eternal. He plays one level per stream and gives us good insight on the choices they made on creating the levels, enemy placements, level design, weapon mods, whatever, you name it. If you enjoy game development and enjoy Doom as well, then this stream is exactly for you. Anyways, as I said weeks ago, I believe that in each stream, Martin will reveal something about the Ancient Gods Part 2, that he will reveal little teases about the DLC on each stream, and well, that is basically the case. According to Martin, its software, the development team, they're all knee-deep into the development of the Ancient Gods Part 2, and that everything looks very promising and as expected. Also, he gave us an update on battle mode and the weekly challenges. In the last month, the community of Doom gave a ton of feedback to its software about the weekly challenges, and how some of them felt redundant and uninspired. And I agree with that. Something like beat 3 levels of the campaign just wasn't inspiring enough and cool enough, and it didn't add anything new to the game. But now, according to Martin, they will now change what the weekly challenges offer. Most likely they will make them harder to beat. Something like kill 8 demons with a single destroyer blade shot might become a reality. Well, just a little idea, but they can also add prestige weekly challenges into the mix. Instead of getting 8 normal weekly challenges, let's get 7 normal weekly challenges and 1 prestige weekly challenge. One that gives you tons of XP, or maybe 5 boosts on the event pass, or gives you 10 plus Doom levels, something along those lines. A prestige challenge that will have everyone working for it non-stop. I think that would be really cool. Now let's talk about the new weapon that they are going to be adding into the game on Ancient Gods Part 2, and what I believe it's going to be. Now, for everyone that has been asking, no, I do not think it's going to be the cut pistol. The Doom pistol was cut in Doom Eternal for a reason. That reason being that it just didn't fit the flow of the game, and that it was basically redundant to use. Is it a cool weapon? Of course, my friends. I even did a whole nightmare playthrough using only the pistol on Twitch, but it just doesn't fit the game pretty well in my honest opinion. Now, I also do not think it's going to be the Gauss Cannon. Yes, I know, I want to cry as well, but I just do not see its software adding the Gauss Cannon back to Doom Eternal. The Ballista is there for a reason, to replace the Gauss Cannon, and as its software has stated, they want the expansion to make sense lore-wise, so I do not think they will re-add the Gauss Cannon just for the sake of it. Yes, I know that there are a ton of design papers of the Gauss Cannon laying around on the game, but that's just an Easter egg, a Doom Easter egg, nothing more, nothing less. In actuality, I do not think they will add anything to the weapon wheel. The weapon wheel is maxed out, they cannot add anything else to it. Unless the Doomslayer loses a weapon in the expansion, lore-wise and story-wise, then that will make it easier to add another weapon. But I do not think that will be the case. What I think will happen is that they are going to add another super weapon. Specifically another Crucible-like weapon. The Crucible was lost back then in Final Sin, and the Crucible slot is the only slot in the game that is actually free. On the Ancient Gods Part 2, we're going to face against the Dark Lord. So it's pretty much obvious that lore-wise, this new weapon is going to be used specifically on the Dark Lord, at least on story. So, what is it going to be? Well, I really do not know. If the Dark Lord doesn't retrieve his demonic crucible on the Ancient Gods Part 2, which is on the Fortress of Doom, then the demonic crucible is going to be the new weapon we are going to use. We're going to use the Dark Lord's weapon, which is a demonic crucible, to kill the Dark Lord. That will be really cool, and that makes sense as well. But if that is not the case, and the Dark Lord actually retrieves his demonic crucible, then this new weapon needs to be something that must match him in power, or match the crucible in power. It's really interesting, at least for me. It also changes the lore of the game, because if this new super weapon is going to be the demonic crucible, then the Dark Lord is never going to retrieve his demonic crucible. We're going to use it to kill the Dark Lord. But if the Dark Lord actually retrieves his crucible, as I said back like 3 months ago, then the new weapon we're going to acquire needs to be something equally as powerful. Is it going to be another Crucible blade? I do not think so. Yes, the Doomslayer has the Crucible hilt. He can just go to Sentinel Prime, to Taras Nebed, to his Slayer Vault, and reload the Crucible blade with more urgent energy. But this is an expansion. They need to expand, so I do not think the Crucible blade is coming back. I think it's going to be something like, I don't know, a Crucible hammer, Crucible spear, or something that we do not actually expect, like urgent energy superpowers, something like this. Yes, it's phenomenal and I love it. But anyways, thanks for watching. And so, okay, Spartans, that was all the time I had for today's video. Please let me know what you think about this video down in the comment section. Leave a like if you did, and a dislike if you didn't. If you didn't like the video, leave a dislike. It is completely fine. Thanks to all of my patrons that made this video possible, and links to all of my social accounts will be down below. Have fun, stay safe, have a nice Tuesday. I love you all. Adios. Bye.